Alright, in this video I'm going to be installing a LED light bar with the wire and harness kit on a 2003 Ford Ranger. In the last video I did one by how to remove your front license plate bracket with the rivets. If you so choose, you can use these as your mounting holes for your new Cree. I choose not to because I want mine to be in this spot under here, so that way it'll be flush with the bumper instead of sticking out from the bumper. Just to kind of help out if I'm in a parking lot or something like that, nobody backs into my light and damages my light. So let's get started with that. I bought this light off of eBay for, not eBay, but Amazon for around 25 bucks. And I bought the harness from O'Reilly for 19-20 bucks. So let's get started on that, see how it goes. Alright, here's a look at the wire and harness. Once you take it all out of the box, you're going to have your switch, which this is going to have to be located inside of your cab at some location of your choice, or whatever, however much wire you got to put it wherever you like it at. It also has a adhesive backing. I don't particularly care for the switch, but I'm going to go ahead and use it since it came with the kit. I may later on change it out for a different switch. I just don't like the adhesive backing. I'd rather drill a hole and have it looking all nice and flush versus that adhesive backing with the line coming down off of it. Also, this white wire has a ring terminal on it, and that's going to go to your battery on the hot side. That wire goes to fuse right here, and then to the relay. From the relay it goes to your lights. This is going to be a ground. Get the ground is somewhere underneath the hood or somewhere close to where that wire can reach to. This is also a ground. I'm probably going to put these together either on the battery or at another grounding spot underneath the hood. This particular wiring harness is a 2-light wiring harness, but I'm only going to be running 1 light, so I'm not going to use one of the wire sets. But this is what the wire set looks like. Looks like you can take that out if you wanted to, but I'm probably just going to leave it in. Came with these. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm trying to focus it here. The wire coming straight off your light bar, you can just crimp that right onto it and you'll be ready to go. That's your hot, and this is going to be your ground, which you can do the same thing. And here is the other set of wires that I'm not going to use, so I'm probably just going to zip tie all this together, tape it up. Never know, later on down the line I may decide to add another LED light bar or something to that effect. So let's get started. Here's my wire that I routed. I just used a natural gap coming from the body work right there with these loose wires, and they fit down in there perfectly. It's open channel. Routed it through there behind this rubber shroud here, and I tucked it under here, which is the bottom part of the dash, and just came up and around this little area. And here's my switch right there. I'm I'm gonna mount my switch right there, just somewhere that's out of the way, easy to get to. Don't have to worry about bumping it with my leg or anything like that, or my hand. So that's gonna be my switch. Like I said before, the wires are, see them just a little bit down in there. Here. And ground wire, white wire going to the relay, and this red wire is supposed to go to a parking light or ignition switch. But I'm gonna do something different with this wire, because if I put it on the parking light or ignition switch, it's only gonna turn on when I have the truck on. But I want this light to come on even if I have the truck off or the power off. So I'm gonna wire it up a little differently, and I'll show you what I do on that part of it. Also, here is the second light wire. I just folded it up, zip tied it, made sure I had the positive end taped up, and now it's taped up and going to be out of the way. I'm going to run my wires right down through this hole right here, and that's going to be right beside the front side of the battery, right down through there, and I'm going to bring it left. Once I go to the left, I'm going to tie into my lights that way. So let me continue to run my wires. I recommend using a test light when you're trying to find you a ground. As you can see, I got the alligator clamp clipped to the positive, and I touch the negative and the lights up. That's how you test it. And the screw I'm thinking about using, I know you probably can't see it. Let me switch the light on. It's this one right here. Let's see what happens when I touch that. There we go. So that's the one I'm going to use for my ground. Alright, now I'm going to get ready to mark my holes. As you can see, I got my wire hanging down there coming from the battery. I've made all my connections. What I've done up here, positive wire straight to the battery, negative wire. Let's see. They can't see it, but negative wires on this bolt right here, which was an 8mm. And also the other negative wire, I chose to come right here with it. Worked out fine. As for that red power wire, what I was finding out is that wire actually it does more than just illuminate the button like what I thought it did. It actually sends power to the button also, along with illuminating it. So the way I wanted to connect it was straight to the battery, and with doing so, the red power light would stay on the entire time on that button. It's a LED low draw, so it probably wouldn't hurt anything, just like leaving your car charger to your phone plugged in all the time. But I just elected not to. So what I ended up doing, just finding me a fuse that came on when I turned the ignition switch, and it ended up being this one. I can't remember exactly what it went to, but to get the switch actually like that, only thing you need to do is strip your wire bare, probably about 1/2 inch or so. You stick it down in the hole where your fuse came out of, then you put your fuse back in the hole. By doing that, holds the wire tight, and you have it on a fusible link, and wire secure. So it's under the cover, it's going to be watertight. So it worked out perfect on that end of it. So let's get back to marking my holes. And underneath this bumper, under here, there's actually a metal brace that this bumper sits on, but this is a metal bumper also, so it's probably about a inch to 2 inches of gap in between the metal brace and here. So what I'm going to do is just, since these holes from the license plate are pretty much centered, what I did is just follow this around to the metal plate and mark my holes on there. So did that on both sides, so all I got to do now is drill them out. So let me get started on that. Got my brackets all put up. See this one here, this one here. I used the bolts and locking washers that came with the kit, the light kit, not the harness. So let's go ahead and finish up on the wiring here. White is the positive, black is the negative, and I'm going to use pre-existing connectors, and I have some male connectors that I'm going to use on the light bar itself. So let me get that all wired up. And there you have it, all wired up. Connections are good. You can also solder these connections if you would like to have a more reliable connection, I would say. But it's your choice, either way it goes. It's this very small gauge wire, probably 18-20 gauge or so. So it shouldn't get that much heat, but it's with a light fixture, so I would always err on the side of caution. So alright, got it all mounted up and in line, as you see, with the Ford emblem in between the license plate bracket holes. Everything's looking good. Now all I gotta do is tuck my wiring back underneath the hood, and I'll be good to go.